Have you ever felt that strange sensation when you're home alone? That feeling like you're not really alone? For me, it started with the little things. A flicker of the lights, a sound from upstairs when no one else was home, the distinct feeling of eyes on me when I was just trying to watch a movie. At first, I brushed it off. Old house, faulty wiring, my imagination running wild. Classic excuses, right? But then, the little things became not so little. It began escalating. Objects would move. Not just a little nudge, but a book flying off the shelf, a coffee mug sliding across the kitchen counter all by itself. My dog, Buster, would stare at an empty corner of the room, tail tucked, growling low in his throat. He saw it too. Whatever it was, I tried to rationalize it. Drafts, uneven floors. But a part of me knew. The cold spots weren't just drafts. They were pockets of icy air that would appear and disappear in seconds, leaving me shivering in the middle of a warm room. The whispers weren't just the wind. They were faint, like a radio playing in another house. But sometimes, just sometimes, I could almost make out a word. My name. The first time I saw something was a Tuesday night. I was doing dishes, and in the reflection of the dark kitchen window, I saw a shadow move behind me. A tall, slender shadow. I whipped around, my heart pounding in my chest. Nothing. Just my empty kitchen. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped a plate. I told myself it was just a trick of the light, a car passing by, but the fear that gripped me felt real. It was a primal, bone-deep terror that I'd never experienced before. I started documenting everything. I set up small cameras, used a voice recorder. I needed proof. I needed to know I wasn't losing my mind, and what I captured. It was chilling. The voice recorder picked up clear EVP's electronic voice phenomena. Phrases like "get out" and "this is my home" were whispered between the static. The cameras caught orbs of light dancing through the hallways, and, on one occasion, a door slowly creaking open and then slamming shut with incredible force. There was no wind. There was no explanation. Living with a ghost isn't like the movies. There's no dramatic confrontation. No team of paranormal investigators rushing in. It's a slow burn. It's a constant, low-level anxiety. It's second-guessing every sound, every shadow. It's the feeling of being an intruder in your own home. You start to adapt in strange ways. I started talking to it. I'd say, "Good morning," when I came downstairs. "I'm just going to the store. I'll be back soon." It felt crazy, but it also felt necessary. Like I was trying to establish some sort of boundary, some level of coexistence. One night, I was woken up by a crash from the living room. My first thought wasn't fear. It was annoyance. Seriously. At 3 in the morning, I got up, walked downstairs, and found a picture frame on the floor. It was a photo of me and my family. The glass was shattered, but what was weird was how it had fallen. It wasn't just knocked over. It was placed face down, several feet from the wall it had been hanging on. As I knelt to pick it up, I felt a sudden, intense cold wash over me, and a whisper, clear as day, right in my ear, "Leave." I didn't leave. This was my home. I wasn't going to be scared out of it, so I tried a different approach. I started researching the history of the house, the land it was built on. I spent weeks in the local library archives, digging through old property records and newspapers, and that's when I found him. A man named Silas, who had built the original farmhouse on this land in the late 1800s. He had lost his family to sickness and lived out his years as a recluse, fiercely protective of his property until the day he died, right here, in this house. Suddenly, it all made sense. The protectiveness, the get out, the my home. He wasn't malicious. He was just a lonely, territorial spirit, still guarding the only thing he had left. Knowing his story changed everything. The fear began to recede, replaced by a strange sense of empathy. I wasn't being haunted by a monster. I was sharing my home with a sad, lost soul. So, I started talking to him differently. I'd tell Silas about my day. I'd play old music from his era. I even left out a glass of whiskey for him one night on the anniversary of his death, just as a sign of respect. And you know what? The activity lessened. The aggressive slamming and flying objects stopped. The whispers became less frequent. The cold spots weren't as intense. It was like we had reached an unspoken agreement. A truce. Now, things are quiet. Well, mostly quiet. Every once in a while, I'll still hear footsteps upstairs, or see a shadow move out of the corner of my eye. Buster still occasionally growls at an empty chair. But it's different now. It's not scary. It's just Silas. It's a reminder that I'm not alone. but in a way that feels less like a haunting and more like having a very, very old roommate. I share my home with a ghost, and somehow, we've made it work. It's my story, and it's still unfolding every day. So, if you've ever felt that feeling, if you've heard that unexplained noise, maybe don't be so quick to dismiss it. Sometimes, the stories of our homes are written in more than just wood and nails. They're written in the echoes of those who came before. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've had similar experiences, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more strange tales. See you next time.